Square Metalcast gives you Metal Discoveries A to Z.
Ryan, what's going on, buddy? You ready to rock tonight?
Oh, yeah, man. This is a great topic for me. I love this one.
Yeah. You know, probably what some people don't realize, but it's true, man. We actually get a lot of messages from fans of the show. I know some of you might not believe it, but we get a lot of messages. And one thing that a lot of people have to say is they always like that, you know, we're bringing out rare bands and bands. Like, for instance, I got a message the other day from somebody. He's a truck driver in the UK. Was very appreciative of the message. And he said, like, Lillian Axe, that was just something that just wasn't on his radar. They never really came to the UK. So it's like, here we are, man. We're spreading the word and trying to get people into different kinds of metal, albums they forgot about, rare bands that they never know existed. It's our mission, man. It's our life's mission.
It is. I love it. And you know what? I like the underdogs here because it's like the shoulda, woulda, coulda bands that they missed out on the big fame, just probably due to timing, but, you know, various factors. But again, this is the never-ending genre of amazing music. And, you know, I could have put 5 bands per letter of what we're going to accomplish today because there's just so much material out there. But I don't know, it's just an excellent list here. We're probably going to cook up one. You're going to cook up one. It's going to be great.
I always thought, like, in my own world before maybe all the social media and everything, that I was the guy that listened to all the rare bands, you know? And then when I saw, like, what people were listening to, like, on Twitter, and then, like, you know, when you and I were doing podcast episodes, like, some of you guys, man, you especially, you go pretty deep, and you guys really know some rare shit. And it's great, especially that you brought that out and you brought it to the podcast. So it's a great thing.
Oh, man, that's my pleasure.
And I thought the time was right, all things considered, to do A through Z metal discoveries. And because I'm kind of in that mode where I've been kind of finding a lot of deep bands and looking for some different stuff too. And so probably tonight there'll be some real, like, no-name bands that you probably never heard of. Some of them might just be an oddball song from a band you have heard of, but maybe it's like from an album that you're not very familiar with. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to hear what you have. I'm sure yours is going to be like mind-blowing, like I'm not going to know hardly any of it. I think some of mine you will know, but I think I'm going to hit you with a few. You're going to be like, whoa, what's that? You know, like,
yeah.
Metal Mike did his homework, man. I'm hoping to impress you tonight.
I hope so, and I know you will. And I will say that there's only one band on my list that's newer. They're all from the heyday. There's just one band, so it's pretty cool, man. Like I said, we could go deep into letter by letter through this alphabet, and you could put in 3, 4, 5 bands. So
yeah,
for this list for me to be all bands from the glory days is pretty cool.
I think for me there are some newer ones, which, you know, I have been getting into some newer stuff, but it's all pretty much newer stuff that caters to the old sound. One thing, my disclaimer right now, I have used this list to put my boy Mike Viscera out there quite a few times. I'm just going to throw it out there because he's involved in a lot of projects. So this is my moment where I can really let my Mike Viscera geekness shine. I'm excited.
Oh, again, well deserved.
All right, so it's going to be A through Z. It's going to be the band and a song that somebody should check out, man. Kick us off with A.
Cool. Well, here we go with a band called Amsterdam. So Amsterdam is late 80s, early 90s from what I could gather. Great reissue that I luckily found years and years ago. But I also found the original. So I think they're a Bay Area band. So that's why probably I found their original CD. But who I could compare this to is it's very, very much a Wicked Sensation era of Lynch Bob meets, and you're going to love this, Lillian Axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, every chorus is really, really catchy. And they did a great job, like Lillian, of taking very kind of common phrases and making them very interesting. So, you know, because we have 26 letters to get through, I'm not going to go too deep into these things and take 4 hours. But I'll tell you right now, every band that I have on here is, like, highly suggested you find. And luckily, all but one of them are on Spotify, so it'll be easy to check out.
Yes, you made a great point. A lot of people always ask me, like, after we do a podcast months later, they'll be like, do you have a list of the songs that you talked about? And today, we got it, man. We're going in the description of this podcast, we are going to put our Spotify playlist for the tracks that we pick. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Awesome.
All right.
course.
My first one is Ashes of Aries, and the song is called The Answer. And if you are familiar with Iced Earth, you will like Ashes of Aries because this has their original. I don't know if it's their original vocalist, but probably one of their main vocalists, Matt Barlow, and I think another guy that played guitar was with Iced Earth as well. And it's just this song, especially, it's really melodic. This one, I think I've sent it to you. It's kind of like what Iced Earth does. It's like they have those songs that are like they're heavy, but they're like slow in the beginning, and then it's like really like a thrashy power ballad. Really good song. Yeah. The whole album's good. Just check out Ashes of Aries if you like Iced Earth and you like Matt Barlow. They've got a few different albums that they put out over the years. So, like we said, keeping it brief.
Is that the guy that you said was like a police officer or something like that?
Yes, he's a police. Yes, yep.
Okay, he's got a great voice. I think. Remember, I was like kind of tripping that I thought it was very Paul Stanley-ish voice.
Yep, he does have a little bit of Paul going on. All right, man.
That's cool.
B.
All right.
B.
I got my boys. So again, on this list, I try not to repeat anything from the past. A few of these I merely touched upon, like featured a song from, and in case it fell on deaf ears or it was just too much of a blip on the radar, I reintroduced a couple of these bands. But this is BB Steel. And the album is called On the Edge, and it's from '91. So like I said, I've discussed them before briefly, but they're a favorite of mine because it's the best early '90s album that Def Leppard never put out. It's produced by Phil Collen of Def Leppard fame after the Hysteria tour, and I believe they're an Australian band, but Phil's vocals are all over it, and every chorus is mutt-laying huge. So it's an amazing album for fans of Hysteria-style Def Leppard.
Nice. I remember you mentioning these guys at some point before, so BB Steel. B.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, mine has two B's as well. And my B is Beast in Black. And the song I want you to check out is called Broken Survivors. And Beast in Black is formed from the guy who started the band Battle Beast. And I think his name is Anton Kabanin or something like that. A Swedish band. And I always liked what they were doing in Battle Beast. And it took me a little bit to come around. Battle Beast has a female vocalist. Beast in Black has a male vocalist. Like I said, if you like that like Euro power metal, Judas Priest, Manowar, mixed up with some crazy 80's vibes, check out Beast in Black. I think a great first song to get acquainted with them is Broken Survivors. What's cool about this album, this is on an album from 2022, there's two covers on it, and for me, this just made me fall in love with these guys even more. They did Michael Jackson cover, They Don't Care About Us, right? That's a song, that's like a 1995 off of his History album, and then they do Manowar, Battle Hymn. So I'm like, you know what, man? These guys, they're right up my alley. I love it. Beast in Black.
That's cool. I know you've sent me these guys before, and I was shocked to see, and I'm looking at them now just to refresh my memory here, but 42 million, almost 43 million streams on Spotify, and I've never even heard of them. So it just goes to show how popular this band and this genre is overseas.
Yeah, like I said, it's real catchy too, and it's like, so don't, like, if you're not wicked into like heavier stuff, don't be afraid of Battle Beast. Or Beast in Black. They're kind of interchangeable, but very catchy, very melodic, very 80's. You're gonna love it.
Cool, man.
C,
a band called China. So this is a Swiss band, late 80's hard rock, really catchy stuff on their first album, and the second one is equally as catchy. They're most successful, has a little bit more balls to it. But I added two songs from China because between the album number 1 and number 2, they switched singers. So I gave you a taste of both. Number 1 is a lot more, danger, pop metal with a little bit of hard shit. And number 2 is more like, a Lillian or something like that, a little bit harder stuff. So I gave you 2 to choose from: China, C.
Sweet. I've heard of China. I definitely have heard some of their songs. Nice pick. C, I'm going to go with a band that's not super rare, but for me, I considered it was kind of like a newer discovery for me. I'm going to give a shout out to some of my buddies on Twitter. I think this all started from a tweet from K-Man Riffs. We got Greg, we got Marco. They were all telling me, man, Mike, you got to get into Crimson Glory. And for the longest time, I tried. To me, it just sounded like a cheap Queensryche knockoff. Like I just couldn't get into it. And then I just said, okay, man, these guys know their metal. I'm going to listen to it. Went through it. It is great. Midnight is a great singer. Rest in peace. And the song that really caught my attention, Lonely is very cool, but I think that was their single. So if we're going to go through more of like a rare discovery, I'll go with Lady of Winter. And just great melodic, progressive metal. Good stuff, man. So if you were holding off, shying away from Crimson Glory, thinking it was like a Queensryche knockoff, or just kind of they missed your radar back in the day, go back, check out Lady of Winter. Super tune, man. Super. That whole album, the Transcendence album, is great.
I love it. I had their 91 album, Strange and Beautiful, and I really got into that one. But I need to dig into the 80s albums. So, yeah, I could call. They're very, very much Queensryche-y, but in a great way.
Yeah. All right, D.
All right, Dalton. The album is called Injection, and it's the choice album from them for me. They're another Swedish band. They have 2 80s albums, and they're very keyboard heavy, but the singer's voice gives it enough lower end to keep it really rocking. They're comparable to like Fate, that other Scandinavian band I mentioned before, and your average American late 80s pop metal. But yeah, the band's called Dalton, and highly suggest it. Great voice. Very, very low voice, but it's very good. So another out there one.
Nice. For D, man, I gotta go. It's my first time to throw out Mike Viscera and the band. It's a Brazilian band, Dr. Sin, and the song is called What Now? And I think what happened, like Mike Viscera was producing them, and then somehow he became their singer. But the album, if you look it up on Spotify, it's called Dr. Sin 2, and the CD that I have is called Shadows of Light. No matter what, man, really good album, lots of great songs. That's it.
Damn, dude, I've never heard of that. So
it's quality, man. Well, Ryan, check out my playlist, man. You'll love it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. E.
Easy Living. So this is from 1991, and the album was called After the Fire. And these guys are descendants of the band Bonfire, the guitar players from Bonfire. But the singer may as well be a descendant as well, because he sounds very similar to the Bonfire singer, which is killer, of course. But it's really good, early 90s, polished, catchy rock. And like I said, I honestly thought this was like the guitar player and the singer saying adios to Bonfire and doing something different. But one guy broke off, created Easy Living, and you'll see that they have some more current albums, but it is with David Reese.
Yep.
So, but I really like this one from '91 called "After the Fire."
Dang, man, this was the one where I thought I would impress you, and you have the damn thing on your list. It's on my list. I got Easy Living, and I got the song "See the Tears." It's a huge power ballad, right? This is off that '91 album, After the Fire, and I really dig the guy's voice. At least on this song, he kind of sounds like early Vince, maybe like a little bit of the Tim Skold, a little bit as well too. And you can tell like there's a foreign thing going on. You can tell that they're they're foreign band, but it's great stuff, man. So yeah, I got Easy Living as well. So nice.
Yeah, that's killer, dude. I threw this song on called "Take Me."
Okay,
and it's kind of got a little bit of everything in that song. It starts off a little bit mellow, but it is a chugger. So
That's
I
funny.
threw that one on the playlist.
All right, F.
All right. This band is called Fierce Heart.
This place, you see, it's not for me, 'cause now I'm out for blood.
And let me tell you, it is ahead of its time. I actually almost incorporated one of their ballads on our Ballads 1 and 2 episodes because it's almost kind of like a comical line, and you'll hear it. But go through the playlist, check out Fierce Heart. I believe it's like 84, 85. It sounds like it should have been like an 87 or 88 album. It's really ahead of its time. I can compare these guitars to Mixed Tone in 83, like Shout at the Devil,
Nice.
Mick Mars, Aggression, awesome, ripping guitars. So check out the song Out for Blood. That's the one I put on the playlist.
So I kind of cheated in some respects for this. I told you there was a little leeway. So for
Of course.
F, I'm going with the band Fair Game. It's actually called Ron Keel's Fair Game, okay? And the song that I want you to check out, because I feel like this could be on like the next Keel, like the 1990 Keel album, but it's called Blind Faith.
Oh no, a hole's turning to greed and lust. Oh yeah, it's devil us. Believe what you
And this is in some movie from 1992. Last night I was on a tirade of finding movie songs. And anyways, what's interesting about this project is it's Ron Keel on vocals, and then the whole rest of the band is all female. So I don't know if
That's right.
Ron found like a group of like a vixen type of a band, and he said, "Hey, should I just sing for you?" I don't know how this came about. I've never talked to him about it. I've never read much about it. But it's actually a really cool. It's like almost like an EP, maybe a 7-song thing called Beauty and the Beast. Really cool idea. Just probably poorly timed with the early 90s. But yeah, Ron Keel's Fair Game.
I remember that. That's pretty cool, dude. I remember seeing pictures of it, actually, like promo shots. It never took off, but it sounded like a good idea.
Yeah. All right, G.
Okay, I got my first Christian album on here, and it's a band called Guardian. And the song I added to the playlist is pretty much like, you can qualify it as one of the best melodic hard rock songs of all time. The song is called Turnaround.
nothing at all. You got nothing. You gotta turn around. You know love won't let you down.
The band is pretty much like universally killer and accepted, and I'd be so surprised if like no one doesn't like them when they hear it. Really cool guitar tone, really cool voice. If you crank the song Turnaround, you'll be hooked. They're one of those like sneaky Christian metal where you can't really tell, which I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying you can't really tell. So there you have it. My first Christian metal appearance we have.
Nice. I think I've heard of Guardian, but I don't know this song. I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah, they had a couple different singers, and this guy's great. His name is Jamie Rowe. He was in a band called Tempest before this, but really good stuff.
All right, so this is a newer project for my G. I listen to these guys all the time. I'm huge into them. It's called Gathering of Kings, and the song to check out is Forever and a Day. Love that song. Looks like it's a brainchild of like a dude, Victor Olsen. He's like the guitar player. He writes all the songs. But man, there's so many different singers. So each album will have different singers on it. Like you'll have the guy from Soilwork and Night Flight Orchestra. He sings on some songs. Johnny Lindquist from Nocturnal Rights. So a lot of that weird Swedish power metal stuff that I like. But this is really melodic. So like this isn't heavy. It's just super 80s melodic rock. So, Gathering of Kings, man. Check them out. Love them.
Yeah, all this stuff you've sent me in the past, not necessarily these songs or whatnot, but dude, they're so cool because they incorporate a little bit of then, a little bit of now.
Yep.
So it's like this highly melodic stuff with this crazy hard stuff on top, and it works really well. It's a great blend of it all.
Yeah, man. I agree 100%. What do you got for H?
H, I got a band called Hawk. It is Doug Marks of the old Metal Method fame. You probably remember if you ever looked at the old 80s rock magazines. He had a big ad in the magazines, Metal Method. So he paired up with the Massey, M-A-S-E, Massey vocalist, and released a really cool hard-ass melodic ripper in '86. So I got the band Hawk.
Nice. Back to one of my Twitter friends, Greg. He's always preaching Hawk. Anytime he can talk about Hawk on Twitter. Sometimes he has to stand on that hill alone, but he's always talking about Hawk.
Yeah, if you check it out, I think I put "Tell the Truth" is the band or the song I put on there. It's a great little intro to that band.
Okay, so for my number, I'm doing the number thing. All right, for my letter H, I'm going to go with a band called Hann and Tramp. And when I first saw this around, as I was doing my research, I thought it was like a project that had Frank Hannon and Mike Tramp. I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah. It is not. I'm going to go with the song On Into the Night. It's from 1989. And these guys are from Philadelphia. And what's cool about them is, like, I think they're, like, on this song, the verses kind of sound like Bon Jovi, but then the chorus is like total Cinderella. So he has that ability, like a Dizzy Dean type of a thing, to sing in the clear voice and then, bust out the screech or whatever. I think these guys got picked up by Demon Doll Records, and I think they released some of their demos. So it's just demo stuff. You can't find it on Spotify, but you can check it out on YouTube, and you can buy the CD from Demon Doll Records. But yeah, really cool, man. Check out Hann and Tramp.
Cool. I'll check it out.
All right. Aye.
I got Impellitteri.
Yeah.
So it's some hard shit, man. I got Bob Rock on vocals, which is always killer. And if I were you and you don't know these guys, I'd focus on their 92 album called Grin and Bear It. Great discography, epic guitar virtuoso if you're into that. Impellitteri.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. I'm very familiar with the first album that had Graham Bonnet on vocals. Like, that was kind of the breakout one. But yeah, it's a good one, man. For my eye, not very rare, maybe for some of the listeners on the podcast, it's not a band they listen to a lot. And I got to go with Iced Earth. Huge Iced Earth fan. Anytime I can talk about them, I will. Right now, there's some problems. John Schaefer was involved with the January 6th riots. We won't talk about that. But what we'll talk about is a great song. It kind of rolls back to the beginning of my list with Matt Barlow. He's on here. And the song's called Watching Over Me. Another one of those melodic metal power ballads. It's from 1998. It's off the album Something Wicked This Way Comes. Watching Over Me. Great message. It's about his friend that passes away at a young age, and now he thinks that friend is his guardian angel up in heaven. Pretty cool, man. It's a cool story.
Nice, dude. Great band.
All right.
I'm glad you put it on there.
Jay,
I got you a 2-for-1, okay? So, two bands named Joker.
Oh, two Jokers? Nice.
Yeah, two Jokers. I put them both on the playlist. One is from 90, one is from 91. I'm fairly certain it's not the same band. I think one's European and one's American, but they both have these epic, huge, killer, chugging, nasty, hard, just epic shit. So check the songs on the playlist. Mackinac Avenue and Coming Round to See You. They're both huge songs. Really cool album covers. Fairly similar, but really ripping early 90s stuff.
I gotta know, do the album covers have like a clown like the Joker on them?
Oh, one of them absolutely does.
Okay, I say you better, man. All right, because I feel like the Joker could work like in a metal. Well, look at like the Dangerous Toys clown there. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
Exactly.
like Jokerish. Yeah. Okay. For my J, I gotta go Joe Stump's Reign of Terror.
Tell me why not alone? Don't be afraid of the unknown. Tell me which
Mike Becerra is the lead vocalist. The song that you must check out is The Unknown. I think it's from 2001. And it's just one of those things where with Mike Becerra, you know, especially these projects that he kind of jumps on with, they just give him the music. And then it's his job to just come up with cool lyrics and melodies over top of it. And he really, you would think these songs were written around his melodies, but he's really writing melodies around this music. But it's just it always works. It always sounds good to me. So if you like the Becerra, Yngwie stuff, you gotta check him out on the Joe Stump stuff. So that's what I got.
What an unfortunate name, but awesome band.
Joe Stump. Yeah, it is a weird one. K.
K, I got a band called KK Wild. And this is real rare. This is stuff that, like, if you find this on CD, you're sitting on a gold mine. But KK Wild is a very different look than most 80s strip bands. They almost went like Robert Palmer style. Like they looked real
like
clean with their long
tie
hair.
and shit?
Yeah, like they looked like they're wearing like a suit and tie, but they had long hair. So it looked kind of cool. But anyway, the singer kind of has that Lion, the Cal Swan from Lion, like that deeper vocal thing, but it's cool. It's obviously very tongue-in-cheek stuff. The album cover looks like it could be the logo on like an old Cadillac. It's really cool. So KK Wild, they are on Spotify, which I was pretty shocked to see. So I've always liked them.
That's funny that you say that about a guy like that wearing like a tie for metal and stuff, because I always thought like a cool image, right? So this is totally off the beaten path, because I feel like we've just been going hard, rapid fire. We gotta break it up. So I always thought a cool image for like a rocker, right, would be like almost like Two-Face, right, from Batman. And like one side, the guy looks like a businessman. You know, he's got like a suit or like a dress shirt and a tie. But then on the flip side, he's all metal. So like on the other side of the tie, maybe it's got studs on it, and his dress shirt's all like torn up, and it's got blood on it, and he's got spiked wristbands. But like that split personality, like a Two-Face looking rocker. I always thought that would be cool. So there's a free idea if anybody wants it.
Well, dude, how about how killer it was when Motley did that for the Theater of Pain promos back in the day? Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
That looked killer. Actually, they're wearing tuxes with their makeup and the hair. I thought it looked really cool. Actually,
I think there's a thing too where Twisted Sister, I want to say it's on the inside of squares of like Come Out and Play, like half their face is without makeup and the other half has it. You know what I'm talking about? So I feel like people have delved into this idea of like the split, you know, look or whatever. So
yeah, totally.
Oh, just a random thought. I figured I'd throw it out there. Okay, Kay. I'm going with a guy that you know and love, that's always talked about on this podcast. But do you know this song and album? So I'm going to go with Kip Winger. I'm going to go with the song Kiss of Life. From his solo album from 1997. I think it's This Conversation Feels Like a Dream or something the album is. And I think if you don't know about this, or you shied away from it because you were scared or whatever, don't be scared. Basically, you know, it's like if you took Pull and you morphed it in with like some like new age music, like with like bongos and stuff. So like there's some new stylings. It's kind of mellower, but like I still feel like that Kip Winger melody and all that kind of stuff is there. So just go back, listen to Kiss of Life by Kip Winger, and especially maybe just jam on it like in the morning or something when you're just waking up, you just want something more chill. But yeah, man, the other day I listened to it and I was like, this is really good. I mean, I'm not saying I want to listen to it all the time, but it's pretty cool.
That's cool. I like that stuff. Sometimes you got to get into it.
All right, Al.
Okay, this is blatant Christian rock. It's a band called Liaison. but you got bands like Guardian and like Striper Against the Law. You can't really tell that they're Christian. These guys, you could definitely tell. But it doesn't mean that it's not good stuff. This is very, very poppy, key, synth, smooth vocals, but the chorus is insane. The song I added is called Kick It Down. So Liaison, if you want to get into that realm, there you have it.
That sounds awesome, man. I'm going for my album. I'm going with Love Killers. This is from 2019. Check out the song Across the Ocean.
Lifetime like a star, I'll be with you across the oceans, the wildest oceans. Like a star, I'll always shine my light upon you.
This, unfortunately, is like a Frontiers contrived project, I think. Basically, they hired Tony Harnell to do the vocals, and somebody wrote music that kind of is TNT-ish. But I'm a sucker for TNT. I'm a sucker for Tony Harnell, and I think a lot of these songs sound pretty good. So Love Killers, Across the Ocean.
Nice. Love it. Checked it out. That's good stuff. Well, again, I try not to repeat bands, but I got to throw Masquerade on there. They're my Swedish pick. This is an album that I've discussed, or a song I discussed on our Ballads album. But the album itself is just, it's amazing. If anyone didn't catch the mention of it, check it out. The whole thing. I can preach these guys forever. They're melodic, they're hard. The singer's got a real deep to high voice. His range is great. One of my favorite albums of all time. And I can't say enough about how great the guitar work is. It's like that perfect amount of like catchy hard stuff with melodic metal. So check out Masquerade. You will not be let down.
Nice. I feel like here I'm starting off with like a big bender of just like foreign bands, like German bands, Swedish bands. We've got a lot of them, but I'm going to go on a massive streak with it right now. But I'm going to go with Masterplan. Check out the song Lost and Gone. Love Masterplan, especially this album. And right now, I'm not sure what this album is called, but you're gonna love. I think it might be called MK2 or something like that, or something like that. But anyways, it's founded by the Halloween guitarist Roland Grappow, we'll say. And I just, these guys are great. Once again, really just melodic, power metal type stuff, very catchy. Masterplan, man, check them out.
Yeah, I think I've either checked them out or I know of them somehow, but they're fairly popular. I mean, they got some pretty damn high streams on Spotify and whatnot. Yeah,
I think they got a new song out right now, and I want to say one of the guys that was in the Gathering of Kings is now the singer of Masterplan. So yeah, and that new song sounds pretty good. I got to give it some more attention though.
Yeah, cool.
N.
So this is the one that isn't on Spotify. I apologize to everybody, but please click the YouTube link when the playlist comes out, because it's a band called Noise Toys. And of course, there is a Z in there, which you gotta have. The strip band, man, it's like strip band excellent, and it's as cliche as it gets and as it sounds in all aspects. The sounds, the look, the lyrics, but unfortunately Spotify hasn't caught up in the world of this killer stuff, so they're missing out. But it's great. It's another one of those where if you find it on CD, you're stoked. And I think I have this and their next one on CD, and they're equally great. They're I think they're riding skateboards with like pink knee pads on the cover. It's terribly cliche, but just amazing glam metal.
Nice, sounds good. And I'm going with Nocturnal Rights. I've talked about Nocturnal Rights a few different times, I think, on the podcast. Swedish band. Johnny Lindquist, lead vocalist, great singer. I'm going with the song "Tell Me." I know that's a White Lion song, but Nocturnal Rights has a great song called "Tell Me." This one's from 2007. And I think with these guys, I think if the best description, they really were playing some straight up power metal when they got going. But on this album, and I think maybe the one right after this, they had a couple albums in a row where they did this kind of style. It just sounds like heavy Bon Jovi. So like if you like the power metal heaviness, but then the Bon Jovi melodies and choruses, check out Nocturnal Rights. Tell Me.
Cool. Thanks. I'll check it out. So, I got a guy you'll know. Paul Cebu doing the band Only Child.
I need you tonight. I wanna touch you all night. Wanna kiss, baby, all night.
So he's got that excellent voice. He's a solo artist from the early mid 80s, producer, songwriter. You'll know him from Scream Till You Like It. Great AOR-ish hard rock with a really good key touch on this band, Only Child. So big time suggestion for this band.
Yes, I know Only Child. I think Only Child was on my radar for this list, but I opted for another project that just came out, I want to say maybe a year or two ago, going with Out of This World. And that's a project with Key Marcello, and Tommy Hart is the singer. And what's cool about this is it really does sound like Europe from the 80s. You know what I mean? Is it as good as Out of This World from 1988? No, but it gives you that vibe. I know Ron Nevison did some production on this and stuff, so very cool. Check it out. And then my 0.2, whatever you want to call it, I gotta throw out Obsession.
Don't be so sad and lonely. You know I'm missing you. I won't forget you.
Because Mike Vicera, that was like his first band that ever made it, and I've been listening to Obsession for like 2 or 3 weeks straight in my car. I've got the CD in there, Methods of Madness, and I just listen to it 24/7. So go check out anything by Obsession. Anything off that album is good. So that's like I cheated like what you do. Put another bonus album in there. So yeah, Out of This World with Key and Tommy Hart, and then check out Obsession. All right, what do you got? I got to do my alphabet. L-M-N-O-P. All right, what's P?
Okay, so I got Paul Shortino and J.K. Northrup. And they teamed up to do a compilation, and they are, I want to say it was probably recorded, it was recorded in probably 91 or 92. And judging by the album cover, they look very the early 90s, but it was released in 93. Really quality stuff. I kind of always miss the connection to Rough Cut. I'm sure I'm missing out with some of their killer stuff that I'm really not like digging into, but I love the Quiet Riot Shortino album. I think he's got an awesome voice. He has another band called Bad Boys with 2 D's and a Z in there, which we talked about before. But this pairing is insane. It's from, like I said, 93, but I don't know. It's very late 80s, early 90s feel, so it may have been shelved for a minute, but really cool stuff. A lot of songs on the album. They're probably thrown in there after the fact, streaming-wise, because they could, but it is streaming, and check out Bye Bye to Love. Very good song.
It's funny when you say Rough Cut. I've been getting a lot of messages tagged to me by Greg Renoff. He wrote the Van Halen Rising book, and it was an article about Jakey Lee, and it was basically saying that he was from Rough Cut, and he dabbled a little bit in Rat, and he was supposed to be in Motley Crue, to replace Mick. So there's all this talk of him, and every time they mention his name, they call him Jake Williams, right? I don't know. I never knew his name was Jake Williams. I just know him as Jake E. Lee. Well, as soon as you saw Rough Cut, I just kept thinking about Jake Williams. I was like, Jake Williams? What?
Yeah, that's one of those where the suggestion to change your name was a good idea.
It's not bad. It just doesn't, I'm sure when he got into Ozzy, they're like, oh no, you're Jake E. Lee. So.
Well, Zach Wild was Zach Adams, I think.
Oh, so same kind of shit. Yep. Oh, yeah. P, I got to go with Pink Cream 69, okay? So, nice. This was a band that just totally has missed my radar. I've seen the name. I never could make heads or tails of it. I was like, man, this almost sounds kind of dirty. What is this? But the song that I want you to check out is Talk to the Moon. It's from 1991. German band. It's got the Scorps thing going on. It definitely has a little bit of that in there. But I've been jamming on quite a few of these songs from this album, and I'm really digging it. And I come to find out that the singer ultimately ended up in Halloween at some point as a replacement singer. So there's a lot of ties that you're going to see. Rolling Grappo, Pink Cream 69, Halloween. It's all kind of coming together. But yeah, Talk to the Moon. Great song. I think if it came out and was promoted in the U.S. maybe in 1990, it would have been huge, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, great band. I have that one. I like that album a lot.
Q.
I wonder if we'll have the same one, but I got a band called Q5.
Oh, we do!
So which one do you have?
Damn.
So I love Q5. I've always liked him. I discovered him actually a really long time ago, and my buddy worked at a little college radio station, and they had all the leftover albums from like the 80s and 90s, and they just gave them to him. So he gave me this album, and the album is called Steal the Light.
Yep.
And the vocals are so killer on this album. And then the second album, they went completely AOR, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But this one rips. So,
yeah.
Q5.
The song that's on my playlist, I went with Lonely Lady, but it's off that same album, Steal the Light. And it's really that Steal the Light is a great song too. And all I can think of when I hear this is like if you morph like early Queensryche with like something maybe like Billy Squire. So it's kind of poppier, but it still has that edge. And he's got that voice like Jeff Tate. I don't know, man. I just kind of stumbled across it and I thought it was really cool. But for guitar nerds, their original guitarist was Floyd Rose, who invented that lock-in tremolo system. So yeah, pretty wild.
Oh, really? I didn't know anything about this. Did he go? He hit the big time with some technology stuff?
Yeah, and then he never had to work again, so he's all good.
Not a boy. Good for him.
Okay, R.
Okay, cheating. I'll be straight up. I couldn't leave two of these guys out, so I'm gonna cheat. I'll make it brief. I swear. I got Rock Boulevard, and I got Rage of Angels. So I'll kick it off with Rock Boulevard. And I got no apologies here because these bands are so killer that people have to know about it. But I would have felt like it did you guys a disservice if you didn't hear about them. Rock Boulevard is absolute ripping, like, it's almost like teenage angst hard rock of the late 80s. I don't know how else to explain it because they have very, like, of the time songs. They're great. They're much different than Rage of Angels. Rage of Angels is a quote-unquote Christian band, but they're not really. Like, you can't really tell that much. And I'll let the music do the talking on both these bands since I cheated and I included two R's. But I'll say that the Rage of Angels has two members of Steelheart that are going to be recording their album in like a year from when this was released. So Rock Boulevard, Rage of Angels, you will not be bummed on listening to either one of those.
Sounds good, man. All right, I'm going with Roland Grappo from Halloween. Another reference to this guy, and also Mike Viscera. He sings on his 1999 solo album, Kaleidoscope. Check out Under the Same Sun. I know that's the same title as a Scorpion song. It was also a German band. Must be a German thing, talking about Under the Same Sun. But this album is really cool. Lyrically, I don't think it's up to par. There's some goofy lyrics, but I think probably because Roland wrote the lyrics and not Mike. But Mike sings and he does a great job on this album. Like I said, it's a mixed bag, but I've jammed on it for quite a few years and I really enjoy it. So yeah, check it out.
Okay, cool. I'll check it.
S. A lot of bands with S, man. A lot of them.
Dude, yeah, I mentioned that in my little spiel here, but this one, I got Sahara Steel. And they're from the class of 92, my hands down favorite year for melodic hard rock. But this album fits right next to the Saints and Sinners and the Wild Sides for absolutely ripping melodic hard rock that was the direction that 92 like really should have gone in terms of like the mainstream. But this album is just amazing all around. There was so many S bands to choose from. It was almost as hard as R. So I didn't want to cheat back to back, even though I could have. But this one took the cake, and I actually was messaging one of the members back and forth, and he was very appreciative of the love I was giving this album, and agreed that it was just a timing issue, and you really can't go wrong with this album.
Cool, man. S, as you know, I know for a fact you know because I'm sending you all their songs. I'm on a major Sunstorm kick, okay?
I need you to know that I want you to come back. Don't let your pride get in the way. We've come too far. Baby, lay down your wrongs.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I just got into these guys. So this is a more of a, 2000s project. Joe Lynn Turner was kind of the guy that was the first singer to be on the albums, and then now I think Ronnie Romero's on them. But I'm a Joe Lynn Turner guy, and this also includes some members of Pink Cream 69. So see, it's all coming together, and there's something about the album Emotional Fire. Like I love it. It's like catchy, modern, heavy. It's got some Desmond Child overtones, like some of the choruses.
Totally.
But the song that I really am into is called Lay Down Your Arms. And what's interesting about it is it almost feels like Sabotage in the beginning because it's like a piano song and the voice is kind of following the piano. And then it's just a real groovy, hooky chorus. But I love that, man. Like I said, just scan through that Emotional Fire album. You Wouldn't Know Love is another great song. The song Emotional Fire. I've been really into it. So, Sunstorm.
Great new band, newish band. Love it.
T.
Okay. It's going to surprise you. I get Triumph. Yes.
Wow.
Correctly. I got the band Triumph. But, okay, yeah, this is the band that did Fight the Good Fight, Lay It on the Line. Okay, they dropped their Geddy Lee vibes, and they switched lead vocals with their drummer, who used to be the backup singer, and they brought in Phil X, who's now of Bon Jovi fame, and they did another beefed up, absolutely killer 1992 gem. And I'll say this is comparable to like a House of Lords or like a Chuggy, Whitesnake, or Hurricane. This album from 1992 from Triumph is amazing. And I didn't know it for a very long time because I could really give a shit about Triumph. and then I checked this out and I was like, oh my God, like, how did I ever miss this? I preached 92 and this is amazing. So I put the song Child of the City on here and you're going to trip out. You won't even know it's them, dude. It's another one of those like, oh, they probably should have changed their name. But that's not really going to fly in the financial world. So please don't think I'm completely lost my mind here. It's a great album.
Dude, you're shocking me here. I'm like, most of the bands, I haven't heard of any of them that you said, but Triumph is like big time. But that album sounds a little more rare, under the radar. So yeah,
it is.
All right, T. I'm going with the Night Flight Orchestra. That's another band I'm just like hooked on. So the song is probably not the right song for listeners of this podcast, but I love this song so much. It's called Zodiac, and that's what's on my playlist. It could be on like the Hot Space album by Queen. So the space that these boys are in, right? They play music that is really like late 70s, like disco, metal, rock, like Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You, and all that kind of stuff. And then also they get into that early 80s vibe where, like Survivor and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, if you like Kiss Unmasked, if you like the song, 20th Century Foxes by Angel, it's like that disco rock type of thing. But they just verge on that, like the pop rock of the late 70s, the disco rock of the late 70s. It's just so good. And what's funny is that I think it's Bjorn is the singer of this band, but he's also involved with the Gathering of Kings, and he's also plays in a heavy band, Soilwork. Okay, so
that's right. Yeah,
a lot of weird shit that he's been involved with, but man, all of it sounds really good. But I know if you like that, I love that kind of stuff. Like I love Bee Gees, I love all that shit, and I love all that melodic, late 70s pop, early 80s pop and rock and all that kind of stuff. And these guys, when we talk about it, we talked about on the podcast, like sometimes they're those Swedish bands that do like hair metal and it's just not genuine, like they're trying so hard, but it's just not feeling authentic. This to me just sounds like he's like a child of this music, and he knows it, and it's just so authentic. So Night Flight Orchestra, if what I'm saying is sounding good, check out Zodiac, just put their whole catalog on shuffle. You won't be disappointed. So, man,
might I just say this is so killer. Like we finally get to discuss all these rare bands that we think are so great. This is great. I'm glad we get to spread the word.
Yeah, and hey, like there's just a wealth of bands here. Even if you get into 3 or 4 of them, like I said, there's a lot of choices here. All right, man. I'm curious to what you got for you. You was a tougher letter. As we get to like U, X, and Y, it gets a little slim. So I want to hear what you got for you.
It is, and I wanted to put Unruly Child because I preach them so much.
That would have worked.
And do yourself a favor if you guys don't know my Unruly Child loving and my preaching, and you haven't heard them, crank them. But that is not it. This is the only new band I have on here, and it's a band called Uzi. UZI. And they won me over because I honestly couldn't tell if they were a throwback or something I just missed from the heyday. But they look the part, and they really, really sound the part. And it's kind of like a hard, almost sleazy metal, but they sold me. They did a great job of going back to the old days. Like I said, if you look at their photo, you're like, oh man, is that like a opening band for Guns N' Roses on the Use Your Illusion tour, or is this like brand new and it's newer? So check out Uzi. You won't be dissatisfied, but if you also don't know Unruly Child, really check them out.
Cool, man. I always thought Uzis were cool back when I was a kid, so I'm already intrigued. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of cheating on this one because I did struggle with finding a U. So I got Underground, but it's Saints of the Underground. And I've been so hooked on this, man. Listen to Dead Man's Shoes. So if you're not familiar with this project, on vocals we got Janie Lane, we got Bobby Blotzer, we got Robbie Crane, and we got help me out, Ryan Roxy from Alice Cooper. So that's the band, and I think it's from 2008, so it has that kind of 2000 sound, but it totally has that Janie Lane like vibe, very melodic, very catchy, just a little modernized. But Dead Man's Shoes, so good. And I think there's a song called Bruised. That's another one that's really good. But yeah, just check out a couple of those. That just real good stuff. Really good.
Yeah, you re-engaged me in them because I bought it way back when it came out, and I was super pumped. And I still like it. And then I rediscovered it. Definitely am stoked that I got into it in the streaming world.
All right, V.
Okay, Velocity. So this band came up in our late 90s episode we did, but it's the album that it sounds like it came out in 1990. The album was called Impact, but it came out in 98, and I don't know how they sat on it for so long, or they just were fans of the late 80s, early 90s, and put out an album in 98. So it's the singer's name is David Victor. He also has some really good solo albums, and he sang in Boston, and I think he's still doing that. He's kind of made a name for himself. He's one of those guys that has, like, his voice is so good it's almost too good, and it kind of like annoys you because he's so damn talented. So check out Velocity, Impact. David Victor is a great singer, and he definitely looks the part.
Cool. Not a super rare band, but a band that I haven't listened to in a long time, and I went back to, and I'm going with Victory, and I'm going with the song Never Satisfied. From 89.
Nice, dude.
It's off the Culture Killed the Natives album. Another German band, and yeah. It's good stuff. If you remember, they had a couple videos on Headbangers Ball for that album, so go back and check out Victory.
Dude, I love them. I almost put them on here. I have all their albums. They did do that singer swap for this album. I believe this album came out in 87. And then, what's their other one I love? Is it Temples of Gold? Am I completely... I think
that's a later one. Yeah, I think so.
Something like that, but... These two albums are amazing, so great job putting Victory on there. They're very listenable.
W.
Okay, I got White Cross. Another Christian band here.
I've heard of these guys. Heard of these guys.
Yeah, it's a much more rangy and, dare I say, talented, even though Stephen Pearcy is the man. Pearcy, he's got a very similar voice to Pearcy, but it's higher. He's got a ton of range. The guitar tone's amazing. It's really Invasion of Your Privacy, amazing guitar tone. Their whole their whole catalog is pretty consistent. Check out their first album. I put it on the playlist, and you really can't go wrong with anything from White Cross. I put Who Will You Follow? And look out at the Pearcy comparisons as you go through their catalog.
Nice. I think you've sent me these guys, and it does sound very good. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, W, newer band, Wanted, the song Out of Love. And they're from Michigan. This album and song came out in 2022, but it sounds like it's from 1989, so it fits right in with all those bands, the big boom of 89. But check out Wanted, and they got a new album, and I swear that cover, it just looks like something from 1983. It's so vintage. It's so bizarre, but these guys are right in touch with the old style.
Killer band. I know them, and I love them, and I'm glad you put them on there.
All right, X. I want to hear this one. I had to cheat on this one. I want to hear what you did.
Well, yes, it's predictable, but I cheated a little bit. XYZ.
Oh,
Okay.
that works. That works.
They're not exactly rare, but I do want to point out a couple songs. Okay, so the reason I put XYZ on here is because it's some of the finest bang your head hard rock that people may have skipped because they're album tracks. And it's off their second album called Hungry. And the two songs that are like the epitome of hard melodic rock are Feels Good and Don't Say No. And if you want to get pumped up, if you feel like doing your max bench or your max squat or just getting ready to go out or doing whatever you want to get pumped up, check out these two songs. They're absolutely ripping. So that's why I put XYZ. I almost didn't, but I had to.
This one, I was like at a complete loss. So for my X, I went with King's X, and I went with for the 1992 song Black Flag. I think that song is so catchy. I think that whole self-titled album is really good. So yeah, like I said, if sometimes a lot of us, I think King's X had that boom in like from 90 to 94, Dog Man, It's Love, all that kind of stuff. So, just if you haven't in a while, go back and revisit King's X. I think they were ahead of their time, really. I mean, they really were.
Yeah.
Great band, great talented band.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that everybody preached, but it was like all the mainstream dudes thought they were the best things in sliced bread, but they never really caught on and sold millions.
No.
And it kind of bummed me out because they were so talented and everybody preached them. And I like them, but I understand that they were almost in that like too cerebral like category. But I like them, so a cool choice.
Yeah. Why?
Again, I didn't want to go predictable, but again, I'm gonna talk about a song from Y&T, and the song is called "Rhythm or Not."
She's got it. Hey, man, look at those tamales. She's got it. She's got that swing that puts sex on the brain.
And it's from Contagious.
Great.
And it's the one and only just the song I put on from the band with the letter Y here. But I wanted to add it because it's one of those slow chuggers that has such killer drums and ripping guitar, and the intro is so amazing that you can't help from just absolutely bang your head. And if, in case anybody just focused on like LA Rocks or Temptation or Eyes of a Stranger on Contagious, check this song out. It's called Rhythm or Not, and late 80s Y&T absolutely rips.
Nice. I'm a fan. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I had nowhere else to go but to go with Yngwie. All right. But I want to go with a rare song that you probably, a lot of people don't know. And it's off the 2002 album Attack. It had Doogie White on it, who came from Rainbow, and now he's in Alcatraz. And the song is called Touch the Sky. Great song. It's a very keyboard-heavy song. And it definitely sounds like it could be one of his 80s tunes. Good message, too. Basically, about maybe back in the day when they were getting a little too crazy with the drugs and the alcohol. You know what I mean? So, just a really cool song. A real deep track that a lot of people don't know. So, check that one out.
Nah, I don't know it. So, I'll definitely check that one out.
Z. This is it, man. This is it.
All right. Well, they're back. Sinatra.
Everybody's favorite.
I love them. So in case you missed it on the big, happy, catchy commercial episode where I kicked it off with the song Candyman, you got to check them out. They're, I think, they're from the Netherlands. I know they're European. Great band. It's like the Danger of Europe for the time, and you can't miss these guys, man. They look the part, they sound the part. Check out the song Candyman, and you'll be hooked.
Nice. I am so excited about my Z. All right, and I'm gonna go with Zeno, and the song is called
nice.
"A Little Love." And I have been jamming this song off and on for like weeks and weeks and weeks, man. 1986 album, German band, Uli John Roth's brother, Zeno Roth, okay? Unfortunately, he's gone. He's passed away. I think he passed away in 2016. But this is his band. And all I got to say, man, is the singer, I think it's Michael Flexig or something like that, he sounds exactly like Mark Slaughter. Especially on this song, like just spot on, sounds like Mark Slaughter. The music reminds me of Vinnie Vincent Invasion, but more of the poppy stuff. So if you picture like No Substitute, but like with Mark Slaughter on it instead of Fleischman, and just really, really like that happy, catchy stuff that you were just talking about, that we've done episodes on. But A Little Love, man, it is so good. And like I said, you're going to totally get those Vinnie Vincent Invasion vibes. And for all you who like Vinnie Vincent, and I found this for you, you're welcome.
That's awesome, man. I love that band.
Cool, man. Well, we got through it, A through Z, right in an hour. Not bad. We definitely we kind of toned it down. We just kind of we sped through it, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. And like I said, I always recommend, keep sending us messages, what you like, what you don't like. I don't know how much more deeper we can get than this list, but I mean, I guess we can try again sometime. But I don't know, man. What do you got for any closing thoughts on this?
Well, I do have an extra letter here. I got an honorable mention.
Let's hear it. I knew you had to have something.
Really. But you got to have a number sign in there. You look at all these lists, and you got to kick it off with a number. So the band called 9.0.
Ooh.
And it's Peter Marino of the band Cacophony, who had Jason Becker and Marty Friedman.
Yep.
He's the singer, as well as Le Mans fame. This is a great album from 1990, and it's I wanted to mention it just because I know you love Bangalore Choir.
Yeah,
and it is about as Bangalore Choir as it gets. He's very similar to David Reese in his real deep, hard, gritty vocals. 9.0, the guitar is very reminiscent of Van Halen and Paul Gilbert, too. So If there's some guitar nuts out there, you'll love it. Really cool album. And I think they're capitalizing on the 89 earthquake we had out here in California. And I'm pretty sure they're a San Francisco band. So check it out, 9.0.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to check out and dig into your playlist. A lot of the stuff that you talked, just like I said, some of them you have sent me before, but a lot of that I have not heard of. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been jamming on my playlist on random here for about a week, and I'm pretty into it. So I'm hoping that everybody enjoys it, discovers some new music. That's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear yours too. So thank you very much. This was great to do these random bands, and I hope people dig it and they figure out some new discoveries.
Definitely, brother. All right. Well, as always, have a good night, and I'm looking forward to the next one. 80's Glam Metalcast goes to the movies.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
Yep, have a good one.
We hope you enjoyed this one. Rock on!